Kyler Murray just signed with the Minnesota Vikings for 1 year, $1.3 million. Matthew, first word.
I mean, they get a good quarterback for pretty cheap. I know a lot of people want to talk about Kyler. A lot of people have thoughts, but at the end of the day, Kyler Murray is an experienced NFL quarterback, former first overall pick, and you get him for $1 million. I mean, it's a really good deal for them, and it provides a lot of it's a high reward, low risk. I did it in the opposite order, but it's fine. I think it's a good signing.
I agree. The low risk, high reward. It's great for the Vikings. It really is. And it's even better that the Arizona Cardinals, another NFC team, are paying $36.8 million to him this upcoming year. So that's why this all ends up working out. They potentially have more cap flexibility to get some other guys around him, maybe shore up the defense a little bit. And they're off and rolling. I mean, I think we're both obviously on the same page here where we love this deal. And I think I don't want to just assume, but I think bringing in Kyler Murray, he's going to be the day one starter. He's going to be the starter next year. I don't really think there's going to be much of a quarterback competition. I don't think there's much JJ McCarthy can do here. Also, too, I think long term, the Vikings are okay with him sitting for another year. So I really like it. He's definitely going to be inserted into the number one role, and they can add some more weapons.
Yeah, I mean, when JJ was coming out of quarterback, I mean, or college, he was viewed as a developmental quarterback. And that injury, I mean, obviously sitting on the bench, like it's a good thing, but he didn't really get to develop in the way that you want him to, with that
Mhm.
injury. So they kind of did just throw him to the Wolves, like right after the injury. So I think it's important for him to sit on the bench. Obviously, they're making it seem like there's going to be this big competition. I think that's important. It's what they have to do, obviously. But I mean, you look at Kyler, his stats are pretty solid. I think that his issue was the team around him. Cardinals kept changing coaches. They tried adding, some weapons for him there towards the end, but it just never, that offense never really took off. You're putting him in an offense with TJ Hawkinson, pretty solid tight end, you know, Justin Jefferson, probably one of the best wide receivers in the game. Jordan Addison's a solid 2. You probably want to get another, wide receiver 3, a solid guy. But I don't think we've ever seen Kyler Murray with these types of, weapons. I mean, this is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. I think this is a really good, fit for him. I know we kept saying maybe he should go here, maybe he should go there. Vikings weren't really like top of our list, but more I think about it, it's not that bad.
Yeah, if they're good with JJ McCarthy sitting the bench for a full year with the possibility that if they make the playoffs and this thing really gets rolling, that they're gonna have to push him aside, then go for it.
Yeah.
That was the only issue. That was the only issue if you're ready to take that's the only little risk here,
Hmm.
I guess, right? Is you do have to kind of cut bait with the quarterback that you invested a first round pick in. But
Yeah.
like outside of that, I mean, that's champagne problems. That was the only reason why we were thinking maybe that was the case. At the very least, Kyler Murray gets a year to be a starter in the NFL on a really good team, and he probably gets to show better tape than he did with the Cardinals. So that's a plus for him. He can go get paid again somewhere else at the start of next season if that's the case. And the Vikings are kind of like, we'll maybe just go JJ McCarthy now, or we don't want to pay you a ton of money. So
Yeah.
I think it's good. But yeah, as long as the Vikings are okay with that situation, I don't really see why not. And that's why we were looking towards the other teams though, because it just kind of seemed like a little bit of a
Yeah.
are they really going to sit him down for a year? Like, is that really what they're going to do? But I'm glad that you brought up that he was a developmental guy. He was like the
Yeah.
youngest QB in that draft. I think he was like 20 years old during the draft
He
a
was.
handful of years back now.
Yeah, and I mean, he had some good tape at Michigan, but overall, compared to the quarterbacks in his class, like, yeah, he definitely needed some more time in the pot. I feel like the thing about JJ is I still think like sure he could be a solid quarterback, whatever, but and so that was kind of why I was like maybe Kyler doesn't go here because I couldn't see the Vikings giving up on him. It wasn't until I looked at the stats yesterday that I was like, oh my god, he might be like terrible.
Yeah, he had the worst QBR last year, I
Yeah,
believe, right?
yeah.
He was in like the mid 30s
It
for
was
the
not good.
year. You said it earlier. I was meaning in the last answer I gave to say something about it. But yeah, like the first year where he did sit the bench, he didn't practice.
No,
He
exactly.
was immediately in rehab.
Mhm.
Like it was or physical rehab, I should say, but like he was immediately working to try to get back and healthy.
Yeah.
So like that was his issue. He didn't. That's why he didn't develop as an actual individual who was just holding the clipboard on at the sideline every single game because he wasn't practicing. So they
Yeah.
really did throw him to the wolves. It was a little unfair. Also, too, I think the media and the persona that he built for himself like completely backfired after like week 3. So like by the time that comes around, I mean that's just a disaster waiting to happen. I think it's a good thing though, and uh, for the long run for him at the very least, whether or not it's with the Vikings or not, he'll get another shot no matter what.
Yeah.
Uh, it's
Yeah.
good for him to sit though this entire year.
I guarantee you we'll see him in like 5 or 6 years in that Geno Smith. They didn't write back. I didn't write back. Yeah. But
Hey,
poor
you know what? Let me just well, I wanted to throw this out here really quick. If Kyler Murray starts the whole year, plays well, he's healthy, they go to the playoffs, and they're like, we're just going to have to go with Kyler Murray long term. They already gave up Sam Darnold, right? And he won a Super Bowl. We're in a win now mode. Um, where do you think, or who do you think would be really interested in JJ McCarthy a year from now? I know it's a big guess, but
Yeah. Well, it's hard because next year's draft, I mean, I feel like a lot of these bottom tier teams are going to take a gamble on, a lot of young quarterbacks. I don't feel like a lot of quarterbacks who are currently in the NFL are going to like get a shot how like a lot of these quarterbacks this year did. If this next year's draft, like Malik Willis is not getting this deal, like that's just where my mind's going. But I mean, you got to think one of the, lack of better
Jets.
words, shittier teams,
Yeah,
So maybe he's a future Brown, maybe he's a future Jet, or I mean, put him on a team where
Cardinals.
oh, you know what? Maybe actually, because who are the Cardinals riding with this year? Oh, they're Brissett.
Brissett? I mean,
Yeah, I
I
did see
don't know. I think that they're gonna take somebody in the draft. They
they have
have to.
yeah.
But if they don't, that's a pretty prime position for something like that. I mean, maybe if Tyler Shuck isn't really looking like, how he did last year with the Saints, maybe they try to cut bait because he's already a little older. That would be my only thought. But
I
yeah,
can
the
see
Jets
that.
and the Browns definitely leaders in the clubhouse there. And
Yeah.
maybe the Dolphins if Malik Willis isn't all that good either.
Yeah, fair. Actually, a team that we said Kyler might be looking at, the piece still hasn't moved there. Whatever's going on with the Steelers, because we don't know if Rogers is coming back, Rogers leaving. A lot of the quarterbacks, a lot of the moving pieces has already moved. If you're a Steelers fan, you're really hoping Aaron Rodgers comes back this year because
That could be a this year kind of thing.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
maybe the Vikings get like a pretty decent offer, trade JJ McCarthy to the Steelers because they need a guy. And they're like, we're just going to ride this out with Kyler Murray. He'll re-sign if things are successful. There's no way he leaves. We'll pay him anyway.
yeah.
That's pretty interesting. The Falcons too. The
Mhm.
Falcons they don't really have anything figured out in my opinion. And I'm personally out on Michael Penix. So I
Yeah.
think that that's another part to that. But Tua is certainly now going to be a backup in this league.
I agree though. I think I could see JJ. I mean, it all obviously depends on how Kyler plays, but I could see JJ maybe being a trade deadline target for a lot of these mid-level teams and stuff. But it's all dependent, obviously, how the new quarterbacks play. A lot of interesting quarterback storylines this year.
Definitely. Another before we get out of here, another really underrated component of this is I felt like some of the vets, maybe even Justin Jefferson, were getting a little frustrated with the way that last year went. They kind of threw it away,
Mhm.
and they were an extremely competitive team 2 years ago. Last year, certainly not on the same level. This year, I think the culture and the feeling around the locker room, my guess, is going to be a lot better at the start of the season, even when they face some trouble. I think that
Yeah.
they're going to be a lot better off this go around now with Kyler Murray at the helm.